feeder panel does not necessarily require a 2-pole 60-amp main breaker. According to the National Electrical Code, a feeder panel is generally not considered separate service equipment, and therefore a main circuit breaker might not be mandatory. Article 210.20 addresses branch circuit and feeder requirements, stating that feeders originate from the service equipment or other distribution equipment. This indicates the feeder is an extension of the main service, rather than a separate entity needing its own main disconnect. Article 225.31 outlines general requirements for branch circuits and feeders, specifying that a feeder must have a means to disconnect all conductors at its point of origin. In the context of the question, the 2-pole 60-amp breaker in the main service panel serves this purpose. It acts as the disconnecting means and overcurrent protection for the feeder conductors, fulfilling the requirement of this NEC section. Article 230.71 pertains to overcurrent protection for conductors and equipment. It emphasizes that feeder conductors must be protected against overcurrent by the setting of the branch circuit or feeder circuit breaker, or the rating of the fuse. The overcurrent device's maximum value should not exceed the allowable ampacity of the feeder conductors. Furthermore, feeders are protected by a single overcurrent device located at their origin. Given this, the 2-pole 60-amp breaker in the main service panel is crucial. It delivers the necessary overcurrent protection for the feeder conductors running to the feeder panel. The 12 breakers within the feeder panel then provide overcurrent protection for the individual branch circuits that originate from it. It is important to note the roles of each set of breakers. The main panel breaker protects the feeder wires, and the breakers in the subpanel protect the circuits they serve. A main breaker in the feeder panel would provide a convenient way to shut down the whole feeder panel without going back to the main panel, but it is not always required by code. The NEC focuses on the protection of conductors and equipment from overcurrent, and the primary overcurrent protection is located at the origin of the feeder, which is the main service panel in this scenario.